Some stories start with a fight. Mine started with a pause button. I'm Adam. My wife is Claire. 2 kids, a small house, a bigger pile of Lego. On Sundays she volunteers on the church media team, lyrics, cameras, livestream. Lately, she added, midweek rehearsals. Late nights. The band needs help with the main camera, she said. We lock up before quiet hours. I believed her because I like believing my wife more than I like being clever. One quiet evening the TV popped up a fresh church live stream. Autoplay did what it does. I let it run. Wide shot of the stage, then a slow pan past the balcony. At the far edge, where volunteers aren't supposed to stand, I saw 2 figures close together. One had Claire's ponytail and headset. The other wore a guitar strap and a certain swagger that belongs to the worship guy, Ryan. Nothing dramatic. Just too close for 2 people with jobs. I hit pause. I took a breath. I wrote a single line in a notebook, because lines are better than storms. Balcony. Restricted area. Claire with Ryan. I scrubbed forward. The glass of the booth caught a quick reflection, 2 hands, a smile I know by heart and didn't recognize in context. It lasted a blink. It was enough to make the room feel tilted. I did not text. I did the dishes. Sticky rings make me angrier than infidelity ever could, and anger likes small chores. Later my phone buzzed with the building's motion alert. The shared balcony camera had seen movement after quiet hours. The little thumbnails showed 2 shapes at our row of doors. One wore a beanie. One carried a guitar case. They paused at the far unit, hugged in that careful way people think doesn't count, then drifted toward the stairs. No faces. No soundtrack. Just timing that made a pattern. A few minutes after that, Claire texted. Locking up. Cameras were fussy. Home soon. I typed back. Okay. And let the words sit there like a paperweight. She came in smelling like cold air in church. Kissed Ellie's forehead, even though Ellie was asleep. Tried a smile on me. How was the main camera? I asked. Glitchy, she said. Ryan stayed late to help me reset. She opened the fridge. Do we have lemon water? We have water, I said. And lemons. She laughed, bright and small. You're impossible. I'm consistent, I said. I didn't cross-examine anyone under kitchen lighting. I am not the man who performs an arrest at the sink. I'm the man who names files. After she slept, I replayed the stream and jotted simple notes. No time codes, no color, just nouns, balcony edge, booth glass, reflection, headset strap. I saved the balcony clip the Homeowners Association allows us to download, and tucked it into a folder on my desktop with a plain name. I felt silly taking a photo of the little sign on those stairs, authorized team only, but I took it earlier that week on a totally normal visit, and now I was glad I had. Morning brought a cheery volunteer email from the church. Thanks for serving. Please remember, balcony access is for assigned operators only. No guests in the booth. No names. No drama. Enough to underline the rule I'd already seen with my own eyes. At breakfast Josh told me his teacher showed last week's live stream in class and said, Mom's camera was perfect. Claire beamed. Ellie waved a spoon like a conductor. I packed lunches and slid a legal pad under the toaster because keeping a pad close keeps my mouth soft. On my way to work I stopped by the office to drop off a lost mitten from Sunday. The receptionist smiled and promised to put it in the children's bin. I asked, lightly, if the balcony ever stays open late. Only to the operators, she said. We lock it because people used to sneak up there. She said it like a funny story. It didn't feel funny. Here's the thing about me, I don't like scenes. I like receipts. Not the screaming kind, the kind that fit on a single page and hold up under a calm thumb. So I made a plan I could live with. Keep my notes simple. Words, not numbers. Don't confront in a sanctuary or on a sidewalk. Talk at our kitchen table, under ordinary light. Ask tiny questions that begin with, when, and. Who? Not. How could you? If the answers dodge, set boundaries on paper. If the answers own it, still set boundaries on paper. That night, Claire said she might stay late to clean up the booth. I told her I would not wait up. I turned off the lamp, felt the phone in my palm like a seatbelt, and said the line that lets me sleep. I'm not a victim. I'm a man who writes things down. The Homeowners Association called after breakfast. Calm voice. Said they could release a longer balcony clip because it covered our row. I said thank you and saved it to a plain folder with a plain name. No theater. Just order. The clip showed the quiet walkway outside the units. Night still on the railings. Two shapes. A guitar case bumping the rail. An embrace that wasn't. Thanks for fixing a cable. Then the shapes drifted down the stairs and the frame turned back into nothing. No faces. No soundtrack. Enough shape to match the picture in my head. I made tea. Waited until the house felt like a house again. Then I set a notebook on the table between the salt and the napkins. Short sentences, I said when Claire Saturday. No adjectives. Start with when. She held the mug with both hands. After rehearsals we sometimes stayed on the balcony. She said. I told myself it was just work. Then it wasn't. With who? Ryan, she said. No dodge. No spin. How long? A while, she said. Long enough to feel wrong. I didn't slide photos across the table. I spoke in plain words. I saw the balcony on the live stream. I saw our row on the building clip. You texted that cameras kept you. That wasn't true. She nodded. It wasn't. I'm not here to shout. I said. I'm here to draw a map. I drew one. Pause your volunteer shifts. No private talks with him. Not in the booth. Not on the stairs. Not in a parking lot. If something must be said, say it with a coordinator present. Put every plan in writing. Paper instead of whispers. She looked smaller and more honest at the same time. I'll write to the coordinator, she said. I'll step back. Good, I said. I'll ask a mediator for the first opening. We'll tell the truth in small pieces. Kids first. Her phone chimed on the table. A volunteer thank you email rolled by with a friendly line about balcony access being for assigned operators. No guests. No exceptions. The universe can be tidy when it wants. One more, I said. No rides. No quick reset. No meeting to clear the air. The air will clear without you. She swallowed. I'm ashamed, she said. I will stop. Words are a start, I said. Actions make them true. We shifted to logistics because logistics keep the floor from moving. Who picks up from school? What we tell the teacher in one clean line. How to keep grown-up problems out of kid rooms. We made a simple handoff plan. We kept it short. We let silence do some of the talking. After lunch, the coordinator sent a note to all volunteers. Gentle tone. Firm fence. Balcony is for operators only. Lock doors when you finish. If you feel burned out, take a rest. Names not needed. Message received. Claire forwarded her reply to me. Stepping back. Passing her shifts to another. Thank you for the chance to serve. I answered with one word, received. More would have been decoration. In the evening we boiled pasta and argued, politely, about cartoons. After bedtime Claire called a counselor and took the earliest slot. No social posts. No slogan about the work. Just an appointment. Good. Before sleep I opened the folder and renamed it to something I could live with, plan. It held the balcony clip, the volunteer email, a screenshot of the operators only sign, and a blank page titled Boundaries. No revenge file. Just instructions I can follow when my stomach wants to run. Here is what went on that page. Pause service. No private contact. Mediation on a real calendar. Kid-safe script. You're safe. You're loved. Grown-ups will handle grown-up things. The next morning I dropped the mitten at the office, for real this time. The receptionist smiled and told me she'd seen the policy reminder, too. Good to have clear rails, she said. I agreed. Rails keep trains from acting like stories. On the way home I bought lemons because we had water and no lemons and I was tired of metaphors. I set a tray by the door labeled schools so forms would stop becoming weather. I put the notebook under the toaster because heat makes paper curl and I like mine flat. Claire texted from the counselor's lobby. A picture of a clipboard and 2 chairs. No caption. I replied with a thumbs up, not because it fixes anything, but because small signs point in real directions. By afternoon the coordinator checked in again. Do you want me to mark you inactive for a stretch? She wrote to Claire. Claire sent back yes. She copied me. I didn't clap. I filed it. Dinner was quiet on purpose. We told the kids we might be changing some routines for a while, like who does drop-off which days. We didn't name anyone. We didn't use the word balcony. We used the word family. It fit. That night I stood on our own little balcony and listened to the building. It clicked and settled. Somewhere a neighbor laughed at a show. Somewhere a kettle sang. I breathed like a person who remembers how. I'm not chasing anyone through a sanctuary or a stairwell. I'm not begging a guitar case to confess. I'm choosing paper. I'm choosing rules that can't blush. I'm choosing a kitchen table over a rumor, and a good night's sleep over a good scene. Tomorrow I'll call the mediator. Tomorrow I'll put the first draft of our separation memo in the folder with the plain name. Tomorrow I'll make pancakes because kids know how to measure love in syrup, and I refuse to make them measure it in silence. I'm not a victim. I'm a man with a plan that fits on one page. The mediator's office looked exactly like it should: soft chairs, quiet clock, walls painted in colors with names like Sage and Dove. Claire arrived just before me, holding a folder and a water bottle with too many stickers. She looked tired. I looked like someone who'd been memorizing sentences. The mediator greeted us like a teacher who grades with a pencil, not a pen. No one's here to win, he said. We're here to plan forward. He asked what we wanted. I said, clarity, kindness, and space. Claire said, structure. He smiled. Good nouns. We walked through routines. School drop-off. Medical decisions. Sunday schedules. Are we safe to do this together? He asked. I said yes. Claire nodded. No eye-rolling. No monologues. No legal threats. Just a chart and 2 pens. Then he said, let's talk boundaries. Claire spoke first. I'll block Ryan on everything. I'll pause the worship group chat. I'll ask the media lead to rotate me out of events for the next 2 months. Her voice didn't wobble. Mine did. I added, no contact during handoffs. No mention of third parties. Kid time is clean time. He wrote that down. We agreed. No new partners around the kids for 6 months. No overnights while they're home. All changes to the plan go in writing. If emotions flare, we pause, not press. The mediator printed a copy, called it Memo of Understanding, and handed it to both of us. You can still amend. But this is your ground. Outside, Claire stopped on the curb. I meant it, she said. About stopping. I know, I said. Let's just keep doing the right next thing. She nodded, then walked to her car with the folder under one arm. I let her go without watching the whole walk. That evening, the church's worship schedule updated online. Claire's name wasn't on it. The spot said, TBD. The guitar guy's name was missing too. I didn't need a headline. I needed a blank space. It was enough. Melissa from the media team sent out a policy reminder: no after-hours access without approval. No solo volunteers upstairs. All cameras must log out before doors are locked. She thanked everyone. I felt grateful for small systems that still work. Claire forwarded the email to me. No message. Just a subject line. Noted. I filed it next to the agreement. Saturday morning I did the one thing no drama loves, chores. I fixed the hallway light that buzzed every time someone used the toaster. I sorted the kitchen drawer where pens go to die. I labeled a new folder, Home, Shared Custody, and printed calendars for the next 2 months. Claire dropped off the kids with a polite nod and a bag full of library books. No tension. No delay. Just a wave and a car pulling away with dignity intact. Josh asked if he could make pancakes with too much syrup. Ellie added food coloring. For fun. I let them. I washed the bowl. I felt okay. That night, I checked the church YouTube again. The replay of that midweek live stream had quietly disappeared. Deleted or made private. Didn't matter. The point had already printed itself on my house. Instead of screens, I watched the kids color outside the lines and remembered what it feels like to hear joy without decoding it. That's a kind of peace. I'm not waiting for karma. I'm not pushing a punishment. I'm building something boring, solid, and real. A routine where truth walks in daylight. A family that doesn't flinch at bedtime. A plan you can reread without getting angry. And a man who knows forgiveness isn't forgetting. It's remembering quietly, so you can sleep. The next week was boring on purpose. Claire kept her word. No more late tech shifts. No new excuses. Her name stayed off the worship schedule, the group chat stayed silent, and even her social media took a backseat. Not a quote, not a subtweet, not a selfie in a service hoodie. Just digital silence. I started making lists. Not angry ones. Just order. Kids' school events. Shared doctor appointments. Claire's counseling schedule. My Tuesdays for handoff. We used a shared calendar app. It had little icons for pickups, dentist visits, and fun weekends. It looked like co-parenting was a team sport we were actually decent at least on paper. Claire asked if she could attend Ellie's piano recital. I said yes. She asked if we could sit on opposite ends. I said yes again. The room didn't need tension. It needed space and applause for 6-year-old fingers. The recital happened in the smaller chapel. Same building. Different energy. No live stream, no stage lights, no balcony. Just a dozen kids on a keyboard that squeaked a little. Ellie played, Twinkle Twinkle, and looked straight at both of us. Didn't flinch. Neither did I. After, Claire handed me a printed picture of Ellie from the rehearsal. Just in case you want a copy, she said. I do, I said, and I meant it. We didn't linger. We didn't hug. She left in her car, I left in mine. Balance. That night I laminated the photo. The church quietly updated its policies. A PDF titled Revised Volunteer Guidelines showed up in our inboxes. It added a new section. No solo volunteers after scheduled hours. No private access to media booths. No off-hours use of worship spaces without staff presence. No names. No direct callouts. But every line read like someone saw what I saw, and decided to put up better fences. On Sunday, I stayed home while Claire took the kids to the park. I cleaned out the hallway closet. Found a pile of old camera badges, tangled lanyards, a water bottle with faded stickers, and Claire's old service hoodie. I folded the hoodie and placed it in a box marked donation. Not out of spite. Out of math. The badges went in a drawer I might one day forget. The lanyard went in the trash. The bottle went in recycling. And the empty space in the closet felt like a win. Later that night, I stood on our little balcony, the one above the garden, not the church. It was quiet. Just a breeze. A porch light 2 houses down. A cat I don't own walking our fence like it pays rent. And I thought, this is peace. Not the firework kind. The quiet kind. No more guessing. No more second phones. No more blurry shapes in frames you weren't meant to watch. Just a simple promise. If someone belongs in your frame, they won't hide from your camera. The church email about returning badges sat unread for 3 days. I saw the subject line each time I opened our shared inbox. Volunteer badge audit, please return old tags. I didn't delete it. I didn't forward it. I let it sit like a polite ghost. Claire handed me the envelope during Saturday drop-off. No drama, no delay. Just a small manila pouch and a neutral face. You can take it, she said. Less awkward if I don't walk through the doors right now. I didn't argue. Inside, her ID badge, the old media key fob, and a folded note. It said, "Thanks for not letting this get louder than it needed to. For the kids. For the quiet. For the mercy I didn't deserve." No signature. I didn't need one. Later, when the house was still, I drove to the church. Parked where we always parked for kids' Christmas shows and pancake breakfasts. Walked in like a person delivering something neutral, like batteries or tape. The admin return box sat beneath the quote carved into reclaimed wood. Do what is right, not what is easy. I dropped the envelope in. The sound it made, soft paper over plastic, stayed with me longer than it should have. No audience. No confrontation. No announcement. Just a quiet room, a bin, and a door I closed behind me with my own hand. At home, I opened the separation agreement one more time. It was already signed. Already witnessed. Already filed. I reread it anyway. Not because I didn't trust it, but because reading it reminded me I could do hard things calmly. We kept the co-parenting structure. We agreed on no overnight guests. No partner introductions for at least 6 months. Mutual respect. No revisions without written approval. No backslides framed as updates. It didn't feel like punishment. It felt like maintenance. I slid the document into a new folder labeled simply, Family, Now. The old one, Plan, stayed behind it. I didn't delete it. I didn't have to. That night, I made chili the way Claire used to. Same beans, same brand of crushed tomatoes. Ellie said it tasted like old Saturdays. Josh said, but better 'cause there's more cheese. I called that a win. A week later, I got a final church newsletter. Buried between announcements about VBS and parking lot resurfacing was a section titled Volunteer Policy Updates. All media areas require 2 assigned volunteers present at all times. No solo access to balconies or tech booths. After-hours access must be pre-approved. And this line. If you wouldn't say it with your mic live, don't whisper it on the balcony. It made me laugh. Not because it was clever. Because it meant someone had finally put it in writing. The kids adjusted faster than I expected. Ellie started sleeping without her nightlight. Josh stopped asking, "Are you and Mom mad?" before bedtime. They didn't ask for explanations. They asked for stability. They wanted pancakes on Sunday and a ride to soccer and a parent who wouldn't forget picture day. So that's what I gave them. Not speeches. Consistency. Claire respected the calendar. She stuck to her shifts, texted only about school and snacks, and never once mentioned anything about working on things or reconnecting. She knew the door she walked through was still closed. But not locked. There's a difference. One afternoon, during a piano practice, Ellie asked me, "Are you still mad at Mommy?" I paused. Looked her in the eyes. Gave her a true answer, size for 6 years old. I was mad. I'm not now. I'm working on calm. She nodded and went back to her scales like the world made sense again. Claire started sending little photos during her time with the kids, Ellie showing her missing tooth. Josh at the top of the jungle gym. A bookshelf they reorganized. No commentary. Just moments. It felt decent. 3 weeks after the badge drop, I cleared out the hallway drawer. Found a lanyard. A couple crumpled order of service sheets. A sticker that said, "Camera crew, do it with heart." I stared at it longer than I should have. Then I threw it away. Some symbols aren't worth archiving. Friday night, I stood on the balcony alone. No guitar straps. No voices. Just a breeze. Some laughter from the neighbor's TV. The porch light across the street flickered like it was trying to decide whether to give up or stay helpful. I understood that feeling. I'm not bitter. I'm not broken. I'm not writing this to burn someone down. I'm writing it because the calm path needs more maps. I'm writing it because too many people wait for explosions, when sometimes the quiet camera catches everything first. I'm writing it because the hardest part of leaving isn't walking away. It's learning to sleep in a bed you didn't expect to still own. But you do. And it's yours now. Here's what I've learned. You don't need a breakdown to draw a boundary. You don't need proof to feel permission. But if you do get proof, use it. Cleanly. Quietly. Let receipts do the speaking. Let the kids hear only love and lunch plans. You can move on without being cruel. You can love your children without hating their mother. You can say no without slamming the door. You can be betrayed without being defined by it. I am not the man in the livestream frame. I'm the man who pressed pause. I'm the man who made a folder, booked a mediator, cooked chili, filed the badge. I'm the man who laminated a recital photo. And someday, I'll be the man who forgets what day the envelope came. But I will never forget the feeling of peace when I chose structure over spite. Because forgiveness isn't for them. It's for the nights when the house creaks, the porch is quiet, and no one is whispering on the balcony anymore. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and see you in the next videos.